Imagine if you only ate once every 2 weeks. Most doctors don't recommend it. As a matter of fact, daily feeding leads to a healthy life. This is the same thing in our spiritual lives. We need to be fed daily with the Word of God so that we can stay healthy and strong and grow. One of the cornerstones of our ministry with youth and local churches has been encouraging kids to develop the habit of reading their Bible every day. Now imagine if somebody said, well, it's true I only eat once every 2 weeks, but when I do, I eat a lot. And I would tell you that it's not just kids that do that. There are some adults that do that as well. What they do is they binge Bible read. They won't read their Bible for 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then on a Saturday afternoon, they'll read it for 6 hours. Now, reading the Bible for 6 hours, that's a great thing to do. But if you haven't read it for 2 weeks, you're missing out on the maximum so that you can become spiritually strong and healthy. Okay, I want to show you our spiritual growth journals. These are some French versions of the ones that I printed up for our youth group, and they're pretty simple. It's just a black and white print job on color paper. We change the color every month, so it's just a little bit different. It's a little bit new. And it's an idea that we have definitely adopted from other people, but we've also adapted to our needs, ways to try to improve it or make it more useful so that we can get more kids to develop the habit of reading their Bible every day. So let me show you how it works. Okay, in the passage that I want to highlight, it's Mark 6:14-29. It's John the Baptist. And the first question is very simple. Why was John put in prison? We want the kids to look at the text, see what's in there, and notice what's going on. But then the second question is why do people get angry when they are confronted about their sin? Now, you remember John confronted the king about his sin, and what happens? Well, he ends up in prison because the king is angry about that. So now we want the young people to think about the text. Why do people get mad when they get confronted about their sin? And we want them to write that answer down. Now, I should mention that all the questions that you can download from the internet are all written by me. So if you have any question about a question or you don't understand or you think we can improve it, please send me a message and we'll be happy to have a look at that, talk to you about that, and communicate with you about whatever thoughts you might have about those questions. Now, you might notice also that the questions are pretty short. In other words, a reading is short normally, and there are 2 questions. There are not 30 questions. Now, obviously, we could give 30 Bible study questions, and that would be a great thing if kids did them. Our goal when we're working with teenagers is we want them to get in the habit of reading the Bible every day. As they grow spiritually, yeah, they're going to want to read more. They're going to want to learn more. And so I encourage youth ministries to keep the Bible reading short for the kids, encouraging them, again, if they want to read more, to do so. Now, these spiritual growth journals are pretty short. You can see here, it's pretty thin. They are about 30 days long. Now, the first reason that we make them only about a month long is because we want kids to develop a habit. And I don't know if you've heard this before, but experts say that it takes about 30 days to develop a habit. When you do something every day for 30 days, it becomes a habit. Also, by giving kids a new one once a month, it keeps it fresh. They always feel like they're getting something new. They don't have the same one in February that they had back in September. So this way they feel like, oh, I got a new one. I'm getting a new one every month. And then the third reason is kids lose things. In my experience, kids will take it home. They won't be able to find it. They slid under the seat of the car. It's under their bed. The dog ate it. Who knows what happened to it? So we do know, though, if they lose it, that in 2 more weeks or 3 more weeks, when the month is up, they're going to get another one. And so they can start all over again. Now, you might be wondering, who pays for those? Because if you print those, that's going to be money. Ink costs money. Photocopies cost money. And I will say, yes, they do. However, we've decided that we would pay for them, or youth ministry would pay for them, but we would not ask kids to pay for them. And here's the reason why. Kids rarely want to pay for something that they've never used before and they don't know if they'll use. And so to say, hey, do you want to buy this thing that's going to cost you a certain amount of money? Most kids will be like, no, I don't think so. If you say to parents, well, why don't you buy that for your kids? Most parents I know will say, well, Junior doesn't even read the Bible now, so why should I pay for something when he doesn't read the Bible? When he starts reading the Bible every day, then I'll buy it for him. However, if he starts reading the Bible every day, then Dad can simply say, well, he already reads the Bible every day, so we don't need it. So I think it's best to print them and give them away to kids. Okay, one thing I want to mention is that at the beginning, most kids in your youth group are not going to do it. Every church I've worked at, when we started with this, we printed them, we gave them out, most kids weren't doing it, just a few kids. However, as we continue to encourage it, we continue to incorporate it into the youth ministry, the leaders were doing it, little by little, more and more kids start to get involved. And I will tell you that after 4 or 5 years, every single kid in our youth group, or almost every kid, is doing it. So don't be discouraged, stick with it, and you'll see results.